Hey everybody, this is Ken with Dirt Road Tourist, and today I'm doing a review on our new OpenRoad 270 awning. This awning is replacing an 8-foot straight awning that we had off the back, but we wanted something with a little more coverage on the side and on the back, pull up chairs, kind of get out of the rain, get some shade. So we ended up pulling the trigger on this one. I want to preface this review by saying that we did not have this shipped to us by a manufacturer. This is not a review unit. We paid full freight for this. So you're getting my honest and unbiased opinion about the awning. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into some of the setup and the features on this unit. At its most basic, that's the setup. You can see how fast it is to get this unzipped from the road cover, get it pulled out, and use the included rope and the cam lock to tie it off. But let's get into some of the other features about this awning. The extendable poles that drop down from the support braces, they allow you to provide a little more stability for the awning in higher winds and rainy situations. And you also have D-rings at the corners and in the center of all the panels where you can actually stake this down to give the awning even greater stability in high wind situations. One of the other things that I liked about this awning when we were shopping for it was the way that they designed the support trusses. Instead of it just being straight tubular bars, these are actually triangular braced bars on here, which provide a really good strong support for the awning when it's deployed. I feel like this design is going to be a little bit stronger than just having a straight tube coming out. Might be a little bit of a sacrifice in terms of weight. This thing comes in at about 55 pounds. So if you're, a total gram weenie on your rig and you're having to watch your weight because payload, that might be something to take into consideration. But overall, I think the design on this one is really sturdy. So was one of the big contributing factors towards us choosing the OpenRoad system. One other thing that you may have already noticed about the truss system is that this lower brace truss comes with a built-in light already built into it. OpenRoad does not have you actually purchase a separate light kit. They're not nickel and diming you for the lights. I liked that when we were shopping for awnings that this already came included. They include this harness for actually hooking up your lights. It contains three, let me get them, these three ends for actually plugging into the lights, and it goes to a USB on the other end. And let me show you how those actually plug up. So you have these little sockets right here at the base of these three bars that the harness plugs into, and then you just take the other end and plug into a USB source. The lights then have little touch controls at the very base. So when you turn those on, initially they are amber. But you have three different color combinations on this. So you can turn it to white with another touch, and then finally with a third touch, you can have a mix of colors, the mixed amber and white. And then, of course, a fourth touch turns them off. Amber is a really nice feature for kind of keeping the skeeters at bay. If you camp in the south during the summer, you'll know what I'm talking about. The inside of the drop lips also have zippers already built in. OpenRoad does sell an optional additional wall kit so that you can enclose this entire awning in. I think it runs about $300. We didn't really go for the wall set because we already have our annex that comes with our CVT tent. So we have a walled off area. If we're in a downpour or something like that, that provides plenty of shelter for us to be able to put, and plenty of room also for us to be able to pull our chairs in. We were more looking for something that offered some additional shade and additional coverage if it's just kind of a straight down rain. Mounting the awning was fairly straightforward. They give you 3 of these very heavy duty brackets. These things are pretty heavy. And they give you an entire bag of hardware, T-slot nuts, different bolts to be able to mount to whatever kind of a rack that you're actually taking this to. I had to do a little head scratching on this one because these Weston bars, the T-slot that's on the top of the bar was a bit shallow for the T-nuts that they provided for it. I decided ultimately to go on the bottom side, along the bottom side of the bars, just simply because I was trying to get the awning as low as I possibly could without impacting the opening of our bed cap doors. But this is already pretty high up there, as you probably have noticed from me unzipping it. But I didn't want it any higher than it is. But if I'd have flipped these around, I would have probably been hitting my doors on this. So this ended up being about the perfect way to mount this. But it took a little creative use of the hardware that they included. But you should be able to find something from what they send you to be able to get this awning mounted to just about any kind of a rig or any kind of a rooftop setup that you might have. So much shade. Hey, you might want to avoid this part of the forest. It's kind of shady around here. So we've seen the features and we've seen the setup. What does the breakdown look like? Well, let's check it out. That's it for the breakdown. all buttoned up and ready to roll. I just received this awning, so I've only just now gotten it bolted to the rig and had a chance to play with it here at the house a little bit, but haven't really gotten it out in any, real world use. There's gonna be a whole bunch of trips this summer, and later on this summer, we're planning on doing a big trip to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So after we get done with that, say sometime around September of 2025, I wanna put out a follow-up review on this after we've gotten some good real world use to show and to talk about how it's performed for us. So definitely be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, this is my initial impressions on the OpenRoad 270 awning. Thanks for watching. See you next time.